You know, in this age of positive thinking, it can become very habitual to not even realize when we're in a situation that we're unhappy about. If you're working on the clearing process, I want to help you a little bit with step one, because it might take an admission of sorts in order to even begin to do this work. I know that for myself, those of you who have worked with me know that I was in a couple of marriages that were extremely abusive. That's back in my previous life, before I did the clearing process and before I did a 180-degree turn in my life. But in those situations, it was both my marriages, and I wanted them to work so badly that I just put a happy face on a lot of things. I think depression comes from that, really, when we haven't been able to express ourselves. We haven't been able to admit the truth about how we're feeling. So to do this clearing work, the first thing we have to do, well, the whole thing is about telling the truth. But the first thing we have to do is tell the truth to ourselves about, I didn't like what just happened. That didn't feel good. We may not want to say it to the other person, but in our own mind, we need to know it. One of the reasons this is so important in clearing and totally changing one's life is that it's going to turn out that the same pattern exists throughout our whole life. And we can't begin to discover that pattern until we can first start by saying, this situation did not feel good to me. That's the door that opens the whole process of changing. I changed drastically when I was 45 years old. That's when I did this work. And you know, the first step was, I was driving my car one day, and I remember looking up at the sky at a stoplight and thinking, I am so unhappy. So we don't know what feeling it's going to be yet, but it begins with seeing that the situations are not the way you want them to be. So what you want to do for these first few beginnings of clearing work is just keep noticing in your life from day to day over the next few days. Just keep noticing when something's going on that you don't like for some reason. It doesn't matter how you feel yet, but first identify situations that don't feel good to you. And maybe start making a note to yourself so that you see how they accumulate. And maybe you weren't even aware that you were hiding from yourself so much.